Yeah, I get that. You know? And of course, we all know that any little bit adds to the blue wave. Speaking of putting sound effects in,
welcome to A Bold and Distant Future. We are here. It's Eddie and Roy today, trying to take apart the week. It was a long and strange week, but we're going to focus in on just one or two stories, and then do something a little bit different. I hope it will be an interesting show. How are you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing well. We've had kind of a fun week because it was Valentine's birthday, and so we've been out doing little celebratory things here and there, plugging them in, as we go.
You're good about that. I just feel so overwhelmed by the news. I just watch it again with sideways glances, I can't just sit there and ingest the news on an hourly basis. It's set up for that, isn't it?
It is set up for that.
So I'm trying to break away.
When I realized that, believe it or not, I think, and this is going to sound weird, but I think it was when they did OJ.
Right.
Remember the OJ thing?
Oh, I do.
And they showed that car chase down the freeway like thousands of times in a few days, and I was like, oh, I really can't do this. And I think that's when I just said screw it and unplugged. And I had a TV for a while, and I think I plugged it in for about 10 minutes and decided it wasn't worth watching.
Well, that's part of what this mass blackout is all about, is unplugging, detaching from, as the logo indicates, stop spending and stop watching just for a few days. Come on, people, we can do this. So we are in the middle of the mass blackout right now.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing here? Well, I would say we run counter to mainstream media. Even though, we're not too radical, we do present other messages. But please, everyone out there, participate in the mass blackout. It goes till December 2nd. If you can't do it for all the days, do it for as many as you can, and tell your friends and try to join in.
Not me, man. I want you to go to the window right now and open it up and scream out, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
That could be a cathartic moment for many of us. I think many of us need that. This channel is kind of like screaming out the window. I think.
Just as you were saying that, though, I was thinking of that scene in Network.
Well, Trump met with Mayor Mondami, and it was a cordial meeting. He didn't tell him you're poisoning the blood of our nation, or you're a socialist communist. There
was a reporter that asked Mamdani about the fascist message, and Trump interjected right away and said, something to divert, which was hilarious, I thought.
So many people are wondering why Trump has had this about face in relationship with Mondami, who's,
He's tired of Florida. He wants to come back to New York.
I think somebody got to him and said, look, we know that he always invites winners to the White House. He likes to invite the winning basketball team or the winning Olympic team. He likes to associate himself with winners.
The thing that cracks me up is he's in all the interviews and stuff you see, he's sitting and Mamdani's standing.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, it was very interesting, just a visual.
As Jimmy Kimmel pointed out too, he had his hands all over Mamdani's, like touching his arm and just touching his shoulder and blah blah blah. And it's like, there was like 4 or 5 instances where he turned around and got his hands on the guy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
trying to make that relationship grow.
I think Trump knows that he's unpopular.
I think he knows that Mamdani represents the blue wave.
I think you're exactly right. The blue wave is, Mondami is the embodiment of the blue wave. He's that first crest, coming over the top.
Yeah.
And I don't think Trump wants to be let out. He wants to, he's behaving like a normal politician.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, in this particular instance, with Mondami. He's
Yeah,
behaving
okay.
like a normal politician. He's being diplomatic. He's respecting the differences of his political opponents and different political viewpoints, which is normal. So him being normal is kind of like, it's shocking to all of us. That's part of it, you know?
It's interesting that you put it that way because once upon a time it was normal. People did reach across the aisle and get stuff done. Now it's just like a shouting match. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, there was no divisiveness. He didn't shout the guy down and seemed to say, "Oh, I could live in New York under this mayor. This would be fine." But I was saying before, I think somebody got to him. Maybe someone that controls Trump.
You think they made him an offer he couldn't refuse?
Maybe. I think Trump is controlled by many, many, many things, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you saw the bit about the proposed Ukrainian peace deal and Russia being completely in back of it.
What were the terms of the deal?
I haven't seen it yet, but it doesn't. It sounds like again Ukraine has to give up territory.
Yeah, they just want to say, okay, let's just stop. We'll settle it, and you guys keep what you've already taken, and Ukraine, you just be good with that. Is that the kind of thing?
More or less, it sounds like. But like I said, I haven't seen anything except for the commentary on the possibility that the entire deal was really not constructed by Trump, but was constructed by Russia.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think I heard a bit of that fly by too. That it was like handed to, when it was written in Russia, freshly translated. Mark Rubio, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Mark Rubio receiving, how he should proceed in America's interests from Russia. That makes sense. I can't think Russia's controlling everyone in the White House.
No, but it goes back to that. I guess it wasn't before the first election when it was alluded to that Russia had some serious dirt on Trump
Yeah.
connected to the visit that he did sometime before he got elected.
Yeah, the famous PP tape, some compromising video
Yeah.
of ladies urinating on our president, before he was our president.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Blackout the System website, which is sort of, I wouldn't say they're sponsoring this Blackout the System shutdown sort of thing that's happening right now. But if you go to their website, there's a lot of interesting information. And so I did a deep dive on their website, and I found this thing called the Wheel of Solidarity,
Like it.
which is kind of cool. And if you've got some free time and a computer, log on to blackoutthesystem.com, and there are lots of other links and things, and I was trying to understand where they were coming from, and I think they're coming from a good place. The wheel seems it's just a fun diversion, and there's nothing too serious about it, but it's a reminder of things we can do if we want to get involved. Here it
The
is.
interesting thing, and I've said this for quite some time, is that people don't think they have power, but they totally do, because all this economic hierarchy that we currently see in place in our country stems from our buying dollars. And the Tesla takedown was a classic example because we saw that stock drop, 25% because of people very simply getting out in front of the stores.
Yeah, I mean, what they're talking about here on the website is all about that. It's about how we have, we feed the big corporations
We certainly do.
with our cash.
Yep.
So let's spin the wheel. We'll see. Maybe we'll look at 2 or 3, and it'll be about a minute or so to discuss after the wheel presents a recommendation to us.
I like the color combo. Quite eye-shattering.
Yeah. It's a little hypnotic. I wonder if they're trying to hypnotize us, but let's see. If you get hypnotized, it's all part of the plan. Click on the wheel. I'll insert a sound effect here. See if this works. You can see you can do this as an individual, or you could do this as an organization, as a group. Let's say you're in a group of people and you want to pick one area to focus on. The wheel could help you decide where to go.
I like the the effect that the center is gets darker, which it probably doesn't, but it looks like, because of this color combination, it looks like there's almost like an eye, there's an iris of darker color in the center, but it probably isn't true.
Well, here's the first one that's come up. It's divest from big banks and join a credit union.
That's absolutely been done 30 years ago.
You're there.
Yeah, we dumped, I can't remember who we dumped. We dumped a couple of them. Wells Fargo being the biggest of them, but then was it Glendale Savings? I can't remember, and they went out of business or got bought up by somebody else. And we went into Bay Federal Credit Union, and we've been there ever since.
So you're happy with a credit union?
Indeed, they're they're very competent. We've had very little issues with anything going wrong. They've got financial advisors for investments and all that other stuff. They've got, if you want to get a loan for your car, they do that. You know, it's like, or your house, which we never did through them, but
Here's the next one.
it's more personal at a credit union.
That's interesting. This next one says, be part of the mass blackout movement. Okay, that's good.
All right, we're part of it.
I hope this mass blackout has some effect. I don't know how widely people are participating this time.
The thing is I don't know if it's been well publicized, other than you putting this up on Old and Distant Future. I haven't seen it, which kind of worries me. If they're trying to get something to happen, you'd think it would be flooding. And of course, this could be, the powers that be filtering it out.
Yeah,
But you'd think it'd be on social media and whatnot, and I haven't seen it.
That's so true. I mean, I've seen it many times in my news feed and my algorithm, but I don't know that others are seeing it. So the powers that be and these platforms are shutting it down that way, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, kind of like the first No Kings. You didn't see much coverage.
Here's the next one. Explore a nearby conservation area / natural green space.
Yep, all the time.
Yeah, you're doing that all the time. I don't do it as much as I should.
There's so much up here, and the beauty of it is that it's not nearly as crowded as it was where we were before. So it's more pleasant because you're not just fighting for parking,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're in an urban area, even going to a park, any place there are trees and nature,
You bet.
is healthy for all of us.
Getting out to the beach.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has to find their own solution to this particular problem.
Yeah, well, the other part of this problem is to support different organizations that are doing conservation so that it doesn't go away. We have the administration trying to lease oil off the coast of California all the way up and down again, and that's going to be fought tooth and nail.
Right. Well, here's the final spin. I think this is the final one. Challenge yourself to participate however you can. I guess that's pretty wide open. I think we might include this wheel spinning segment in future episodes. Maybe we won't spin as many times. Maybe we'll spin it once or twice.
I'm thinking about this one, back to something we said earlier about the big corporations. One of the things that I think people can really do if they can afford it is to buy organic. Because as we know, the Roundup Ready crops are killing our biodiversity. They're causing cancer and other things. It ain't good.
Now, this is when the wheel gets stuck and it hypnotizes you.
I see.
So I need to put some music here, sound effects.
Definitely.
Maybe sounds of us screaming or something.
Falling down the rabbit hole.
I'll do something. Yeah, that's a good idea. An echoey scream falling away. Ah.
Okay, but speaking of the rabbit hole, which we weren't,
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel has an interesting blog that he put together called Kimmel's Rabbit Hole or something like that. And I have seen just a couple things pop up on social media feed, right? But it's hilarious. I'm just going to say that. The one that I saw last night was suggesting that Trump has come from another date and time, and he goes back in time and spots all these different things that suggest that Trump was around, including gargoyles in the UK that look just like him. I don't know how I don't know how people come up with this stuff, or if it's AI or whatever, but they really had gargoyles that looked just like him. And I was like, oh my God, maybe it's true.
Look for that. You think it would be on like a YouTube reel? Is that where it would be?
It might be, yes. I think it's called Kimmel's Rabbit Hole. Oh.
Check it out. Well, here are some shots. Our last segment, I think one of our last segments, is the sort of a recap of South Park. I went at Scooter's urging. I went and watched 3 episodes, the last 3 most recent episodes of South Park. And very interestingly, there's a whole storyline about the school the kids go to. It's been taken over by this principal who's a PC, a power Christian.
Yeah.
And strangely, Jesus himself is the new counselor at the school. And so this power Christian and Jesus get in these arguments.
All the time.
All the time. But it's such...
I haven't seen Power Christian without a shirt on yet, though, so this is new.
If you say anything against the Power Christian's beliefs, he tears his shirt off and says, "You got a problem?" You know.
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, you want to go? It's like this real kind of aggressive, violent form of Christianity, and he's like beating up Jesus in the name of Christianity. It's very twisted, but it's exactly where we are.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a fascist theocracy.
There's an interesting couple of movies that gone by. I'm sure you can get them on YouTube. One is called Blind Faith, and the other one is called wait for it. No, I can't. I'll bring it up later. I can't quite remember it, but Blind Faith, and I think it's called God and Country. Both about this topic of Christian nationalists and their effect on this last election.
Well, I'll drop those titles right in the show. But so here, I think South Park, there's a lot of rude, crude stuff in there, and if that's not to your liking, fast forward to these segments, because they are the most telling, I think, about what's happening and kind of on the ground level. This kind of horrible, I don't know, power Christianity. It's scary.
Yeah, but it's true too.
No, yeah, it's hardly satire.
I think they estimated something like 25% of Trump's vote was from the Christian nationalists, which that's a significant block of folks.
Yeah. Well, one of the storylines is the principal invites Peter Thiel to the school to give a lecture to the students in the gymnasium about the Antichrist. And it's just so dark. Yeah,
I didn't see any clips of this, but it does play right into the storyline they're trying to build.
And this is the fellow that's sponsored J.D. Vance?
More than sponsored, he groomed him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the trajectory of Vance, it happened in some ridiculously short period of time. Just a few years.
I mean, Vance doesn't seem like he's a power Christian to me, but it's sort of like he just let it all happen to him just for the sake of getting more power. Being was he a governor? He was a governor, right?
I think he was a senator for a couple of years, and that was the extent of his experience.
Right.
And I do believe he became a senator because of Thiel also. Worth doing a little research on that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance that J.D. Vance could become president if he ran against any other Democrat. I don't think, that's my belief. I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like there's no way he could. He doesn't have the charisma, the authority. He lacks that voice of authority.
I always say follow the money. That's how you know whether something's going to happen or not.
Yeah, maybe that too. Maybe he'll just be so well funded that they'll buy the presidency for J.D. Vance to continue their mayhem. That's possible too.
Depends on who the Democrats put up.
Yeah,
they put up another old white man, we're doomed.
It's going to be an interesting race, but I think Trump realizes he's on the way out, and that's why he invited Mondami into the Oval Office and was so cordial and polite in some ways.
Yeah, no kidding. That was pretty extraordinary.
Make amends. Well, that's all we have for the show today. I'm so thankful for you being here, Eddie, to give us a show and a chance to have a little dialogue about the things that are happening right now. I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
And you too. Enjoy.
I will.
Relax. Get out and see some of that natural world afterwards.
I think
You guys could walk down to the beach and do a little stroll.
Thank you so much for anyone listening to A Bold and Distant Future. Take care and see you guys again next week.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Bye.